Muyumilange, muyukange, muytengeange, muytukisionungu wetanga. Muytukisionungu wetanga. Come on. I want you to help me sing this song. You know, in Africa, we help one another. Huwa tunasaidiana kulima, kulima, kuimba, mambo mengi sana. So these are call and response. So when I say, Mwitukisiondungu wetanga, you answer me, Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. So you count 1, 2, Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Okay. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Yes. You're going on one. Okay, you count 1, 2. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Okay, let me start. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Muyumilange, muyukange, muytengeange, mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Mwitukisiondungu wetanga. Na mwikatate utelemanga. Umundinye noka wetanga. Thank you. You know, if the throat would grant passage to the knife, then the anus should wonder how to dispel it. If you go to a crocodile's dance in the tunnel, then you better plan what to do after the dance is done. The frown on the face of the goat will not prevent it from being taken to the market. And if wisdom was measured by the size of the beard, then the goat would be a philosopher king. A child can play with a mother's breasts, but never her father's testicles. And I, Musyoki Mutua, the poet, son of Mutua, Mutua of Mwangangi, Mwangangi wa Yuma wangile, Gile wambili. Yes, I never buy black clothes at night. So that's the wisdom of the ancient ones. You know, I remember as a young musician and a poet who sings, in a band called Abaki Simba. Let me hear you say Simba when I say Abaki. Abaki!
Simba!
Abaki!
Simba!
Simba. Abaki. Simba. Yes, Abaki Simba. Simba, Abaki Simba. So there was a quest to go seek for an African drum, a Kenyan drum in particular, from each of our ethnic backgrounds. Some felt called to go seek elsewhere, from their particular ethnic backgrounds. And so I journeyed to my countryside, Ukambani, to go seek the Kilume drum, which I felt an inexplicable urge to seek. You see, we wanted to engage our Kenyan drums because we wanted to give the djembe drum a break. How many of us know the djembe? Okay, you know the djembe? Ah, great. Where is the djembe drum's origin? West Africa? Margareta? Yes, West Africa. Thank you. So we felt a calling to bring our drums to the forefront and kind of relegate the djembe drum to the background because it had taken over our space. Well, it's the most prominent cultural export from the West Africa, and it has traveled quite travel nchi nyingi sana za dunia. So, what do we do? As everyone travels and I go to the countryside, I meet my cousin, who's also a friend, childhood friend. And we map out the plan and go to this old lady called Mukulu Pamutaki. She's a very old woman, you know, and she's still around, 100 plus. So this lady is from where the sounds, as a child, the sounds of this particular drum used to come from, and the dance of Kilume used to come from. And so, and they had remained as a blurry memory. But I wanted to revisit. So we go, find her chaffing some grains, she welcomes us, we introduce ourselves, and we have a great talk. And we also see the drum, they are majestic. It's a very majestic drum, the Kilume drum. It's tuning by the sun. And so we ask if we can get this drum. And she says that the covers of these drums have long gone, passed away long ago, and nobody else covers the drum. So what we do, we are dejected. She sends us away, murmuring, Chanzavi. Chanzavi far away. We are not far away, but 30 kilometers or so away. And she's still murmuring words of wisdom, you know. And I say, elders, if you happen to have a chance to talk to an elder, please do so. If you have a grandmother, if you have an elderly uncle, or just a friend who is old, they say in Africa, an elder is like a library. And when they pass away, it's like a library which burns down. So seek them out. Ask experiences. You don't have to ask, matters culture. Culture is a way of life. So you don't have to ask particularly music or what. Just ask general questions, and you will satisfy your curiosity. I want to create something. Create from what I usually create. And I'm creating from a mask. You see, everybody has a mask which he presents to the society. And everybody chooses a particular mask to present in whatever circumstances. So at all times, make sure you choose a mask which communicates direct from your inner soul. Because if you choose a false one, then it will unmask you. Yes. So we ascend to Chanzali and we head there, armed with adrenaline. And when we arrive at this town after hiking a lorry and a matatu and a boda boda, we ask different people, do you know how we can access, who can get such and such a drum? Do you know who can sell such and such a drum? But nobody knows. But after every few people we ask, kuna mmoja tu anasema, hiyo drum naweza pata, kitembe chuno nikiwa kwa monini. Niwa kilomeki idho kwa mo, kwa ende mo kwa monini. And so everybody, after a few people we ask, mtu anasema, hiyo si monini. And so after getting directions, we head up the hill, and besides the road, you see the house. We enter the compound. On the right side, big concrete houses. On the left, a big round white hut with a flag on top. Well, the flag is symbolic of, whenever you see a flag, especially in the countryside, I don't know if it is so in your countryside, because in Ukambani, flags are symbols of healer's home. Is it so huko kwenu? Kuna mtu ashio na flag? And so, yeah? Yes, and so the flags are, the flag symbolize anchors for the guardian spirits of the healer. And so immediately we realize that we've just entered the compound of a healer. So we are welcomed, we go in, and we explain ourselves. The heart on the left side, many calabashes, many paraphernalia, not paraphernalia, synonymous with healers. On the other side is big kilumi drums, two big majestic kilumi drums, aged with time. You see, the Akamba have a saying that kakuluka tu neva weneko nengele anigo. That a gourd acquires its color from being passed around. And that is the color of these drums. So, Munini is there, quite a joyful, jovial lady. And on the sofa lies an elderman and a king post as the center of the heart. So we explain ourselves and say, seeking this drum. And I say, I play in a band which plays these different drums from different communities. Amunini says, what? You say you play different drums from different communities? And The elder man stands up and asks, do you know the responsibility which comes with playing just one drum from one community, and now you say you play more than 2 drums for? Okay, say yes. Play Isikuti, play Mbombombo from the coast. Then the lady Munini asks me, who told you to play the drum? I say, I just felt a calling. I just, no. Who in particular told you to play that, to seek that drum, Kilumi drum? I say, I don't know. I just feel an inexplicable urge to. Then I say, no. She's now asking, have I been activated? Udaiwa is like how you tie a kamba. Si kamba, the rope. Now, that's the literal translation. But then the metaphysical translation is, is it transmuting or is it activating? Like, that usually was done to a youth or to somebody who is going to seek, so that they may be tied with their guardian angels. You see, in English, when I say guardian angels, it sounds beautiful and rosy. But when I say Ngaisi Amosi in Kamba, it sounds blasphemy. They've already come out of, they are hidden. But it's the same thing. It's a ritual done to tie you to your guardian angels. So that as you go out to seek, for example, if he's a healer, if he's a herbalist, when they go out to seek herbs, they don't spend the entire day looking for herbs, but then the herbs can as well avail themselves. The herbalist. So I said, no. And then, I don't know these things. I'm not completely aware of Kodaiwa. So the conversation is quickly turning into an interrogation, and I'm quickly becoming uncomfortable. So we go outside, my friend, and we seek console amongst ourselves. Out of Kudaiwa and out of these languages, language besides music and fashion and language is main culture of the Haiko. So it's beautiful when you are able to communicate in your mother tongue and be able to decipher some of the words, literally, and what they might mean. So go outside there, we consult, and my friend says to me, you don't have to do this nonsense. Let's go. And I say, no, you have to do this. And he tells me, Musyoki, your problem is that you are a stickler for tradition. And this is nonsense, Let's go. We will find this because we have been told failure to undergo the ritual will mean that we'll seek the drum for the rest of our lives and not get it. And if we get it, turn it into a beehive and not play music with it. My friend has less respect for tradition and order. On the other side, I have respect for tradition and order. And that is the way of life, duality. It's the duality of life. There's the good, there's the bad, there's the joy, there's sadness. And with friends, just as we are very compatible, and we have been friends from way back. And he's the way he is, I'm the way I am. And that is the way of life. You have to keep observing and respecting the duality of life. So I finally agreed to go back and do this thing. I want to be done with this and continue the journey. And so we go inside and say, I'm ready. And then she says, my son, I can't do that now. It's past time. I only do that from morning till noon. And now ni saa saba. Haiwezi kuja kesho. Kuja another day. And then she tells me the requirements. You have to come with a boat. You have to come with this. You have to come with this. And my heart feels heavy. Because now I'm quickly realizing that this has to involve the parents. And my parents are Christians. So we go, feeling dejected. And I spent the entire week and another week looking for this drum, and I can't seem to find this drum, only finding stories. Whenever I go, whenever I'm directed to somewhere I can get the drum, is the story I get just, when our grandma died, we buried her with that drum. When grandma died, we are Christians, we burnt away these hidden stuff. And the road always leads us to healers. And I'm wondering, what is this drum I'm seeking? I was only seeking for sound, but now I realize I'm seeking, or else something else is seeking me. Anyway, I come back to Nairobi, to this very national theater, where the band was based. And I come head bowed because I can't explain why I couldn't get this drum. Having exhausted all the monies I had, and all the courage, and the ego bloated because I was going to bring this drum. I'm going to be the first one to bring Kilumi here. But now, that's not the case. So, I am in Nairobi and I'm getting worked up by the city. I'm also quite depressed, the dynamics of band and all that. And one day I seek to go to the countryside, just intuition, just say, I feel tired, let me go. And so I take the journey, and when I arrive at the bus stop, I meet this youth, who's a friend, long-time friend, and he's in a suit. And he tells me, Russ, long time. Yes, long time, how are you doing? Why are you in a suit? Because he's a boda guy. And he says, have been away for quite some times. Grandma died and I have to be, there has to be someone after the matriarch goes to keep the home together, and that someone has been me. So today is my first time to go out, and I felt like wearing a suit and, feel good. By the way, nilisikia ulikuwa unatafuta drum. Mazee nimetafuta hii drum sana. Man, I've got 2 drums at home. What? Yes, I have 2 drums, man. There and then we decide to forward to his home. And he goes to the granary and comes out with 2 majestic, beautiful drums and says, Musyoki, these drums are yours. I am the custodian. They were my grandmother's. She played them 80 years, more than 80 years ago. She's been having them here. And because they were 6, 2 went to the nearby school's festival and they didn't return them. The other 2 were borrowed by the Catholic school for their Catholic church for their music festival. They never returned them. And I'm in a loss because this is a Catholic church and it's borrowing a healer's drum and, well, can't really make it out. But then he says, these drums are yours. I am the custodian and now give them to you. Let them continue their mission. Helps me get them home. And at night is when I realize that I had played a certain song. Let me play the song for you. Saingi nikalanya ngasani ngokila temya bekalanya koni mukwatenye ni mai mukwe ai ngewa kudai nyale kidumeni mbele na majani suni ai mono mani mwete ndai na limo na mama tukwata ai mono mani tuwete wana mwenya tukadina kutumile So, I realized that I had actually sung about what the lady was asking me, Kudaiwa. You know how you compose a song and you fix beautiful words because they are rhyming and all that, only to realize afterwards that the psychic was speaking through you. That you had actually tapped, and anyway, I had gotten the song from a dream in the countryside, and I had woken up in the midst of the night and strummed the guitar and played those words. And they sounded beautiful, only later to realize the weight of the words with I. But now I've gotten the drum. And I brought the drum back to the National Theatre, and everyone was amazed. And the drum united all the other drums with its deep frequency, low frequency. It has the lowest frequency of all Kenyan drums. And we travel, opening festivals all over, feeling good to the drums, but slowly and slowly I became again rejected. I was now depressed by the city. Unmet goals, childhood traumas, and I wanted to go far away from the city. And so I went to the countryside again, just to rest. I wanted just a week or two to rest, but then I found myself staying in the countryside for several months. And these months I was collecting folk songs. And the folk songs were beautiful. But there was also another challenge. They were written in an archaic language. And I wanted to really understand what these poems were saying. So I had now to go seeking old people and having conversation with them and picking a word there, making meaning from the context of how it is being used in the song. And slowly by slowly, I'm still suffering from the depression. I'm still suffering from childhood memories. I'm still suffering from an ENT problem. And I recall, I don't know if it's St. Augustine who said that suffering is he said, suffering is a form of initiation. You know, suffering, sometimes you can choose pain. Maybe pain could be a form of initiation, but it is you to choose if it will remain pain and if it will teach you, or if it will persist as suffering and bring you misery. Another person said that God does not take away, and when I say God, I mean, yes, God, or the universal force, nature, Allah, or whichever else name you might call him or her, does not take suffering away from you unless, one, he sees you cannot be helped, or you have already learned. And so now I went, I sought to go even further away from my home and to a place where nobody knows me. And so I journeyed to Machakos. I am still in Machakos County, but I journeyed away to another, almost 60 kilometers away, to a family friend. And I found her renovating, because I also wanted books, because remember, I'm in the depth of the music, of the folk songs, but I can still not make meaning out of them. And I want to find out more. I want to read books, Kamba books, so that I can add depth, depth to my existence. And so when I arrive at her place, I find her renovating a house. And I introduce myself to the Fundis, and the last one, a namesake, tells me. We laugh at the namesake because he's called Nelson Musyoki. He says, I tell him, I'm a musician and I collect folk music and cultural items of Wakamba. He says, what? I do the same, man. He say, what? Yes. But I have a problem. I've been seeking books for quite a while, and I can't seem to get a breakthrough. Don't worry. Musyoki, ukadhinikeni. Nina mabuku nengugwete yauni. Tells me he has books. And the next morning, he brings me 5 books. And hands them to me and says, go forth and learn from them. And when you're done, return them to me. And I'm quickly amazed at the power of the hidden dimension. You know, there's an ancient Sufi who said, Fudail bin Ayad, he said, the hidden dimension is at all times at various places interpenetrating ordinary reality. Things which you take to be inexplicable are in fact due to this intervention. People think they know the course of events, but they don't. It is only when you can hold the idea of a possibility of another dimension impinging upon the ordinary that this dimension can become available to you. And so, I quickly connect the hidden dimension. I have to be sick, I have to suffer, I have to declare that I have to move from here to another place so that I can go rest. And that is the place where I meet my destiny, well, the books. And that is how it happens, even with all of us. There's always the hidden dimension working side by side with our ordinary reality. And so, I get the books and I go learning about them, seeking. And I start finding depth because these are books written pre-independence. Actually, most of them for independence. When I'm creating this, as well as you're creating, unless I'm specifically wanting to create complete abstract, then I have to seek balance, because balance is our golden ticket. Balance in life. Whenever you are joyful, you're supposed to seek the balance of the possibility. Nimesema joy ama sad. Whenever uko sad, you should always be aware of this possibility of joy. And whenever you are joyful, you should always be aware of the possibility of being sad. Always seeking balance in our life. So I seek balance so that this beautiful piece can be as beautiful as it is supposed to be. I have to use fire to finish the piece. Whenever fire is involved, fire is a way of life. It is the fire within you, the fire within you. Like when the percussionist, when we play the drum, it is the fire which tunes the drum, the skin of the drum, and this skin and the fire in our hearts, which we combine, the duality of those two things, the drum and the body, that we can manifest for our destinies. And when I create my mask, I can also wear it so that I can crown myself. So, one of the books, Mukamba Wago, The True Kamba, by David Kimilo. I'm reading the book, and I am at the chapter of prophets and prophetess in Kambani, and I meet Syokimau. How many of us have heard Syokimau? Yes. Syokimau was a famous... Who was Syokimau? Anyone? Well, Syokimau, I'm sure many of us have heard Syokimau the place. And others have heard Syokimau the person. So Syokimau was a famous Kamba prophetess who is famous for having prophesied about the coming of the white man and the train. She said she sees a snake coming from the ocean, from the Indian Ocean, connecting all the way to the Western Kenya. And by the hidden dimension, the place Syokimau was another healer's place, who was a friend to Syokimau, because Syokimau comes from Iveti, which is Machakos, Machakos Hills. And she named the place Syokimau in honor of her. And what a coincidence is it a coincidence or a co-created incident? The hidden dimension plays centuries later, when Syokimau train station becomes the main train station of Kenya, the main central station of the SGR. You see, the hidden dimension. So, there's one prophecy which she says that there shall come the white people, and they shall come with so much wealth. And then there shall come another generation which will be behaving or will acquire the behavior of birds. And I'm meditating and I'm asking myself, birds? Is it Twitter? Well, that was a symbol then. Well, what is this? Then she says that that generation which shall come will be as wealthy as the white man. Then she goes on to talk about the trains and how we should learn the ways of the white man. That was Syokimau. And then I go to another prophetess. She's called Syomesenge from Kitui. And there was a prophecy she had said that there shall come a time when thunder and earthquake shall tear upon the lands, and only those who will climb to the hills will be safe. And then, I'm there, meditating, wondering, what is this thunder? And this earthquake. You know, in various countries, various cultures across many countries, thunder is synonymous with shifts of dimension. And hills are synonymous with ascension to that very dimension. So, is this thunder the erosion of morality, the wars, the hate? But then, that has always been the case. And are these hills symbolic of the collective search for truth? Well, I am going to the hills, brothers and sisters, today and not later, for a spiritual appointment with the Creator. Yes, the great old lady and Lord of creation. For my heart rests this content, and so unto its maker it must attend. I will go, it is evident, that with great confidence I will depart thee and head high up there, where the call beckons. For behold, it is where I belong, and I can hear it clear, calling idea, saying to I that there is no more reason to fear. I am going to go, believe me, and I have said it before, that I will head high up there, where I will converse with the bushes and the lilies, and as the trees sway to the rhythm of the wind, and the birds sing as the hummingbird answers to the symphony of the woodpecker. I will stay listening to the voice of creation as I unload my burdens from the nation. I will go, believe me, I have made up my mind. I will go high up there, seeking solace of a kind. It is also true, it is for I and for you, that I will seek in and out that very essence of gratitude as I collect my thoughts for the multitudes, posing in a definite, exact altitude, unfolding an alternative attitude, all this in utmost solitude. So allow I to leave you and go to that very place, seeking the silence of creation. And when the ambience of the silence of the infinite reigns supreme, my absence to you shall turn into presence, even as my presence to I turns into absence. Oh, what a paradoxical circumstance. Such a phenomenal happenstance. I will go, and when I'm done with the experience, before you follow the president, sit and wonder. When you see me, then ponder, as I glow in a kingly radiance and waffle a cosmic, exquisite fragrance. Yes, sit and wonder. When you see me, then ponder, for it is true, I'm already high up there in the mountains of my little room in the attic, in the ascetic cave that is in my mind. Funganya twende safari ya mbali, funganya twende safari ya mbali, funganya twende. Nilifurahi nilipopata habari ya kwamba nalikuwa mystic safari. Nina imani jajangaza ujasiri, niko tayari wazi bila siri. Naenda nilivyo najua si lazima do, marafiki familia wakasema minabo. Sina budi what the things I have to let go. ingawa ninajua it will be a rocky road. Mati train nishafika nga get on board. Ningependa uje nami, decision utamake individually. Mie na dread man nishakubali, kikiliki mawazo pia kila hali. Hakuna competition eti nani mkali, uwe nani ama nani tutakujali. Njoo funganya twende safari ya mbali. Funganya twende safari ya mbali. Funganya twende